Morning, Brooke. I am putting together my coffee and I will be settled in to do study. Give me like 2 seconds. Life's throwing us curveballs, but we keep on living. Trying to decide if I want to move my production to the bedroom or not. Probably wouldn't hurt. Hey guys, sorry, we started a little earlier than we normally do. I thought I had a minute to prepare, and then I thought I was prepared, and neither fact was true. So bear with me. I'm trying to get set up. Yeah, I usually try and wait until 7 o'clock to start, but I was out of bed and able to grab everything. And with the way my back's been hurting, I didn't want to miss another stream because I put myself back in bed and couldn't move again. So I'm gonna go grab my coffee and my protein shake, and we'll get this thing started. Ayo, I appreciate everyone's patience. We're getting there. One other thing I gotta set up. I guess I should have made sure, like, honestly, this isn't my first rodeo. I don't know why it feels so difficult setting up this morning. I don't know. Life's been sending us curveballs this month. And honestly, I'm just doing my best to roll with the punches. Okay. Here we go. Yes. Okay. Getting comfy cozy. Because that's what we do around here. We like comfy cozy. There we go. Hello, cute bear. Set this up here. There. Hi, everybody. It's a little closer, a little more intimate than we're used to. That's okay. Let me adjust Bluey here. She's my back support right now. Got my coffee. I got my Bible. Today's study is in Proverbs. If you look at the description, I did post it there. So if you are following along in your own Bible, we are in Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11. Hi. It is not a good angle, but my back is in so much pain. I am just about what I can do to sit in a way that minimizes that pain. So pray for me, guys, because, oh boy, I'm not okay. Okay, so Proverbs chapter 6. Let me get there. Usually I'm more coordinated than this. It has been a rough week, guys, but I'll get into that after study. We're going to focus on being in the God's Word first. Lord Jesus, thank you for this morning that you've given. You've woken us all up to be here today, Lord. Thank you for that. Thank you for the blessing it is to dive into your word and to learn from you. Help us to face today's challenges with grace, dignity, and an understanding that everything is according to your will and plan. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 11 say, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man." That's kind of scary, huh? Our study is the title of today's stream, In God's Presence. In 1692, Brother Lawrence's work, The Practice of the Presence of God, was first published. In it, he described how he invited God into his mundane daily activities. Brother Lawrence's words still challenge us to prayerfully seek God in everything we do, like mowing the yard, getting groceries, or walking the dog. Each day, I take our dog Winston for a walk. My goal for him is to exercise. Winston's goal? Sniffing everything. Calling this time a walk is a generous fiction. More often, we're going for a... Lately, instead of getting frustrated by a lack of forward progress, I've been asking God to help me see these moments as a reminder that life is a lot like walking a dog. We experience God's presence as we faithfully obey Him in life's everyday activities, including their unexpected interruptions. In Proverbs 6, Solomon offers a similar lesson, using the everyday humble example of the ant to call us to work faithfully. "Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise." Solomon used ants as an example of everyday patient labor. Our relationship with God needn't be compartmentalized into designated spiritual times alone, like church or a quiet time. Instead, we faithfully obey Him. God invites us to see His divine fingerprints throughout each day. And what a beautiful lesson. I know I say that a lot, but I love Our Daily Bread. I do. Because it challenges, at least me, it challenges me to think outside the parameters of what I assume life is and to really dive into what God wants to teach me. That's something that I started trying to do when I started going to church last year, and especially after I was saved last spring. Just kind of, okay, there's something bigger at play here. What am I being taught? Like, what's the lesson? What's the focus? Oh my goodness, I look like I haven't slept in a week. Saved, accepted Christ into my life. Jesus saved me. When I became a Christian. Because you can't become a Christian until you accept that salvation and understand that it is only through Jesus' sacrifice that we have a relationship with God. And I love this study because what a beautiful thing to look around and see God's fingerprints on the entirety of the world. How comforting. I feel like I haven't looked, so the end of every month in Our Daily Bread has like a lesson break. Like it tells you what the lesson of the month was supposed to be, which I love that they do at the end of the month, because then it doesn't shape you to be specifically looking for that lesson every time. It gives you an opportunity to kind of glean what you need from the lesson, but also notice a theme, like give you a chance to pick up on themes. And I feel like this month's theme was the presence of God and how much He is there even when we feel like He isn't. And right now I really need that kind of encouragement, because with everything we've been going through, it feels like we've been abandoned, but I know we haven't. Because I know this is just another challenge that we've been given to really test our faith and see where we stand. So, the username looks a little familiar. But anyways, so remember, no matter what you do, God is with you today, and He wants to bless you. So, keep that in your heart. And don't be afraid to have a conversation with Him. You know? Okay, Bluey is too much. Oh. Whoa. Don't be afraid to have a conversation with God and really reach out. See what He has to say to you. There's gotta be a way to use this. I'm gonna be so distracted. I'm sorry, guys. I am not used to this particular location. Okay, what do I have? That's not Bluey. Well, it may have to be Bluey. There is a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. I just didn't want to write on my head like that. Right. Well, Drake, the thing is that no answer is still an answer. And if you're praying for, say you're praying for a better income. Oh, I want to make more money. Well, are you out applying for jobs? Are you talking to your boss about what your next step in the company would be? Are you pursuing the opportunities that would allow you to make more money? God will open doors. He doesn't just throw things in our lap. That's where we're at with our housing situation. We know that our rental history here is awful because we moved into a place that was above our means. Um, so now we have this history that most normal landlords would not accept. So we're praying for him to work in people's hearts to give us a second chance while we have, now that we have understanding of what it actually looks like. At the same time, I have been praying about whether or not I should stay home with our children, you know, or if I should continue trying to be the breadwinner. That's not my place as woman in the household to be head of household, to be the primary provider. It is my purpose to be the helper and the support. Um, and so what he's done is he's given me a position where my boss is very understanding of our situation and not only has said, here's what we'll do to work with you so that you can be a mom to your kids and be part-time and still maintain certain luxuries of this position. I don't want to say luxuries, that's not the right word. Perks, I guess. Um, she said, but here's what I also want to do to protect you so that you don't lose as much income, so you don't lose the support, so you don't lose these certain benefits like our health insurance and stuff until we're ready to take that step into fully stepping down into part-time. Um, but I had to have that conversation with her. I had to make the move. She doesn't know what's going on until I make the move. But God put it on her heart to understand my situation, that I'm being told to step back and bring my focus back into the home. He's no command or a dream or anything that he cannot help you achieve. Brooke, that's a perfect example. I thank God every morning for my cup of coffee. I'm really thanking him this morning. Ooh, great segue into our health and wellness section of the stream. I thank him. I'm thanking him for these protein shakes. I'm trying a Korean globe diet, is what it's called, and it's just a really hardcore, uh, low to no carb reset, which I've been trying to get back into low carb eating for years now because that is how I feel the best. That is how I feel the most energized. The brain fog is gone. I lose weight like melting butter off my body. Um, and through it all this time, I've been addressing the underlying trauma that led to my eating problems. Um, so it's like I have all the building blocks again, and I'm back to, going up. Um, I lost 5 pounds so far this week. I had jumped up, like the harder I was trying to lose weight, the more I talked about it here, the more I was gaining. I got up to 325 as of yesterday morning. This morning I was down to 320. Um, and it's only a 4-week program. And the hardest part of these first 3 days, they are a liquid diet for the first 3 days. I am thinking, because it says protein shakes, but I'm thinking of looking into the nutrition facts for bone broth because I know that can be high in protein. And if it's high enough in protein to get me to that minimum of 100 grams of protein a day, then I will be working that into my diet as well for protein shakes because um, after this week, there's at least one day a week going forward that is just a protein shake day. Um, which is great. I feel like it's kind of like a mental and physical reset. I'm loving that it's retraining my body how to feel hungry and that satisfaction is acceptable for a cutoff point. Like, I don't need to feel stuffed. I can be satisfied and know I'm getting enough. I'm drinking a lot of water because I want to combat any headaches or fatigue that may come from cutting my carbs so drastically, so fast. Um, I'm also drinking my chia and lemon water still so I can keep my fiber up and keep everything moving regularly while I do this. And I'm still getting my rise mushroom coffee. And the best part is if I put the rise mushroom coffee in a chocolate protein shake, it tastes like a salted caramel coffee, like a salted caramel chocolate. So it is so good. Um, but beyond that, I have today and tomorrow. I did the protein shakes yesterday, so I did 4 protein shakes yesterday, and my lemon and chia seed water. Uh, Today will be 4 protein shakes for my meals, and then tomorrow will be the same. And then Sunday it'll be shakes and 1 low carb meal, and it'll be like that for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday I'll have a shake day, and then Friday and Saturday I will have, I think it's 2 meals and 2 shakes, or it might be 1 meal and 3 shakes. I can't remember. I'll have to look. Um, and then Sunday will be another shake day. Sunday, yeah, because Monday I work, so I don't want to be doing a shake day on a day that I work like a 9 hour shift. That just doesn't seem smart. Because it is so low in calories. Like it's less than 600 calories consumed to do this, which is fine if I'm not doing it for a prolonged period of time. I'm not going to just go straight to, oh, all I drink or all I consume is protein shakes. So, what's going on Sunday, Brooke? What do you got? I'm looking at this 4 week program as a reset. And when I'm done with the 4 week program, it'll kind of just be like going forward. Maybe I'll set like my Wednesdays off will be shake day, where I just have the protein shakes. Um, but then the rest of the time will be the low carb eating. Because, like I said, oh, Brooke, your birthday is on Sunday. Happy birthday, love. I'll have to remember that because I probably won't be streaming on Sunday. I only say probably because I do kind of want to make up a little bit this weekend while I'm on vacation, um, for the fact that I didn't stream like at all this week. uh, Monday, I was hurting so bad. I wanted to get as much rest as possible. And so I didn't roll out of bed until probably about 7:30 to get ready to go to work. And then Tuesday, Mr. Barry had his surgery on his foot for his broken ankle. So I was sitting in the hospital waiting room at the time I would normally be streaming, and I wasn't going to stream in a room full of strangers, um, for respect to their privacy. I mean, it's a hospital. The last thing you want to do is be streaming, and I didn't want to leave the building because it wasn't a huge big thing that was going to take them very long. So I wanted to be there when he came out of surgery. Um, I streamed a little bit on Wednesday, but y'all were crazy on Wednesday. I don't know what was going on Wednesday. The enemy was present then, that's for sure. Um, and then yesterday I just overslept. Like I'm just so burnt out. So, but yeah, so I'm looking at it this way. The 4 weeks um puts me very close to the time that Mr. Barry will be getting out of his cast and going into physical therapy to start walking again. Um, and I want to be a little lighter so that my joints don't hurt so much. So maybe he and I can start planning daily walks together so that he can get strength back in his leg and I can be active and we can have a dedicated like 30 minutes that we spend together, instead of like sitting there staring at the TV and kind of half having a conversation. We can have a dedicated conversation time to kind of catch up. So, good morning, Vicky. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. That means a lot. We certainly need the prayer right now. There's some other things that I don't want to talk about in stream, but there's some moving parts that really definitely need the Lord's hand involved right now. Brooke, yes, sometimes. Um, but right now I blame the weight at the moment. I feel like if I took off the 140 pounds I need to lose, um, a lot of the pressure on my joints would be gone. They say for every lose, you release 6 pounds of pressure on your joints. And so just think about that. This week alone, see, I've released 30 pounds of pressure off my joints from my weight loss this week alone. How incredible is that? I can only imagine how good my back is going to feel when I get down to my dream size. Like, people keep saying, like, oh, it's hard to sit on hard surfaces and you get cold all the time and things ache that you didn't know you had. And it's like, okay, but I want to experience that, you know? I know what it feels like to hurt at over 300 pounds. Um, no, not that I'm aware of. I've never considered needing to be tested for it. The pain is definitely not that bad. I know people that fight fibro, and my pain is nothing compared to that. I pulled a muscle in my back, and I just haven't had time to treat it properly because there's not much you can do for it other than rest and heat and massage. Um, and I finally got my massage gun back from a person that was borrowing it. So I just need to use that because that was helping yesterday. I was able to stand for at least half of my shift yesterday, which is longer than I've been able to do for a hot minute. And I'm just going to keep focusing on diet for this week. As soon as my back doesn't hurt again, I will get active again. Thank you, Vicky. I've done some really good digging with my Celebrate Recovery group about the things that have led to my overeating and my poor choices and my lack of self-discipline. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, self-discipline does fall under one of the fruits of the spirit. So it really is something we should be pursuing. Gotcha. Well, thank you for asking, Brooke. But no, I'm not diagnosed with it. And so I try not to claim anything that I'm not diagnosed with. I jokingly say ADHD, but that's because I've been pursuing a diagnosis with that for a few years now. Just, I just want to know because of the way that my brain works. Honestly, my husband has been absolutely amazing because he and I are both neurospicy, both probably stemming from some level of trauma. But it's that understanding that the brain works differently and it doesn't make you any more or less because your brain works differently. Rather than constantly focusing on, like, my ex-husband had a diagnosis and it felt like he was constantly focused on, or maybe I was constantly focused on, well, he has a diagnosis, so I have to do everything to accommodate his needs if it interferes with accommodating my own. Um, and that bred resentment and it aggravated some tendencies I had towards narcissistic adjacent personality traits because when you grow up with a narcissist, you develop some of those traits as a protective device. And so I'm kind of breaking down some of those barriers and addressing that. Yeah, see, and that's totally valid. I understand that. But at the same time, that's just not a way that I address it because you can't get actual help addressing it that way if you needed it. Take care, Vicky. Thank you for being here. We're gonna try and go live tomorrow morning too. I think we need to go back to dailies wherever possible. Excuse me. Especially since there's an announcement that I really feel like I need to let you guys know about. Our homeschooling journey will be starting on Monday. So I'm excited to kind of share that with you guys if you're interested. And I'll talk to the kids and I'll talk to my husband and see if that's something that we can manage.
Um, the homeschooling side of things will probably be more of like a family vlog kind of thing rather than a live stream because it's not practical to live stream the entire school day. And it's ugly. I mean, there's parts of homeschooling that are not going to be pretty to watch. So I don't want to expose my children's bad days. That's not fair to them. They do not consent to that. And I don't want people to see their bad sides. It's a very private moment. Um, so we will probably do mini vlogs of our homeschooling adventures, and I'll talk to my daughter and see how she feels about it because I know she loves doing this YouTube thing. She wants to be involved, but I also know that I really need to protect my family, you know. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll pray about it over the weekend and see what we're feeling. Um, I don't want to get drawn into the net of what vlogging and live streaming and social media presence can be. So I don't expect to make a living as an influencer, but I always joked with my husband that if I were to make money from this, it would be solely retirement fund money. You know, let us grow with the community and eventually live comfortably in our old age. Wouldn't that be a story? You know, how I funded my retirement using YouTube. it's it's so weird to think about that because you think, oh, well, retirement age isn't until like 65, 70 years old. And even then, people are still working past that. Well, why are people still working past that? Because they didn't plan now. Like if you are 18, if you're 24, if you're 30, start planning that retirement. Start figuring out what can I realistically contribute from my paycheck. If your work has a 401k or a retirement plan, start thinking about what you can contribute to that. If you're under 18, start putting money in your savings account, you know. Mhm. Yep. Yep. Um we're trying to keep it simple though. Like apparently, so I talked to my daughter's teacher yesterday after sending my email with intent to withdraw and homeschool because I called the office and asked them what the process would look like. And, you know, just explain, listen, there's some outside circumstances that are preventing her from continuing to school there. Um, and homeschool was our second option. So what is the process? And so after I followed all of the steps, I also requested her teacher call me and just give me a rundown on everything. Um, and let me know if there were any major projects coming up that she might have wanted to get involved in and stuff like that. So, with all that being said, um, her teacher was very excited to tell me that as far as her academic history, she is above the benchmark on all of her state assessments. Like, she is advanced in reading and math, and she has a passion for comprehension of new topics. So we have a great starting point. So I'm very proud of her. I could not be more proud of my girl. Um, and I can't wait to bring her home and watch that develop. Now, the only thing is being homeschooled for the rest of this year is going to look very different than what homeschooling next year will look like. Next year I intend to be in a more affordable place so we can afford to take her to dance class, so we can afford to get her into extracurricular programs so that we can get her to soccer or basketball or whatever she may want to get involved in. I need to look at the community center here and see what braining what her options are, like what are free community sports that she can get involved in, you know, day camps and volunteer opportunities and things like that. Like if she's not in school, there's so much that I could get her involved in that would keep her active and teach her about community and teach her about serving and things like that. And then use that and apply it in a classroom setting. You know, oh, we went and volunteered at the animal shelter. Here's your paper to fill out to write a report about your experience with that. And there's her, you know, her literature and her storytelling for the day. You know, oh, we got this book from the library. Here's your book report to fill out and tell me about what you understood from the story. So I'm really excited to do stuff like that with her. And I feel like, excuse me, I feel like it'll get me back into the swing of being home and being involved. So, yep, so we're going to maintain school even through the summer, I think. Like maintain a mind of education even through the summer. So, and I love that math and science are your best subjects, Brooke, because those are logical subjects. I am an imaginative thinker. I excelled in literature and the arts. Unfortunately, there's not much call for that kind of profession these days. Not in a way. Oh, excuse me. Not in a way that lends itself to a decent income. But I feel like we're not going to have like a really structured program. I want them to learn by through going through life. What are practical applications for things that we learn regularly? And then once she hits like middle school, maybe do some assessment testing, see where she's at, make sure she's learned things that she needs to have um, to get through life. Oh, sorry. Okay. Dry spot. Um, but I'd rather she learn life skills, you know, and learn enough that if we re-enroll her or she goes for a GED, she's not going to struggle with it, you know. Like enough structure for her to function, but enough life skills for her to live comfortably and happily. And I really am trusting God to guide me in all that. Oh, the bean is squirming. So, are you looking to pursue anything like that, Brooke? There's still that bitter aftertaste. Part of me just wants to go back to bed. Oh, okay. My sister used to want to do that. She had so many lofty animal dreams. Really admired it. She wanted to be a vet. And then she wanted to run a horse camp for disabled kids and give them an opportunity to learn. Then she wanted to be a missionary in Australia. I think now she's racing sled dogs in uh, Alaska. So, I'm gonna follow your dreams. Even if you don't end up where you think you were supposed to, you'll figure something fun out. I'll tell you guys what, back pain is no joke. I feel like I should call my chiropractor and see if she's got an opening. Finally caught up on what I owed them, and so I want to get in and get that, you know, keep myself getting fixed. Wow. That's awesome. So you've already got something lined up. Good for you. Dude, this is not. I don't know. It tasted better yesterday. I don't know what I did different. I think the water's colder. Maybe I'll try a hot protein coffee next time. Throw my protein powder into my coffee after I've warmed it. Ooh, yummy. Maybe I'll do that later today. I don't know. Do you guys think the heat would affect the protein? I just don't want to feel like I'm starving through this whole thing. It's like, so I did all right yesterday because what it was is that like I timed 4 hours I was drinking a protein shake. Um, and so like I got to about 2:45 and I'm like, I have just over an hour before my next protein shake. Like I can make it. That's not that big of a deal. I made it to 3:40 before I was grumbling so hard in my stomach that I'm like, I need this shake now. Well, and I was doing a million other things at that moment in time, plus fielding a couple of phone calls for our housing stuff. Um, and so it actually was 4 o'clock by the time I was consuming that shake. Um, and when I started to feel kind of hungry at 2:30ish, I had chia water to kind of get that fiber in me and fill that hole a little bit. And I don't know. I feel like my face is a little less puffy today. Like this was much puffier yesterday. So I don't know. Maybe it's all the water I'm drinking to try and keep my tummy full. But um it's only 3 days of this hardest part of this. If I can survive, I think I can survive 3 days. Okay, I definitely came home last night, and oh, my husband is such a blessing. Came home last night, like, and yesterday afternoon before I had my 4 p.m. protein shake. I told him, I'm like, this is not enough. I'm so hungry. I'm miserable. I just want something savory in my mouth. There's crab in the fridge. It's still low carb. It's high protein. There's eggs. I'm like, I just want something. And he's like, okay, but you also want to stick this out. You wanted to commit to this. You wanted to do this. And I know you can do this. And he did the same thing last night. He's like, hey, here are your options. If you want to break your commitment, that's a choice you make. Like, and I'm paraphrasing our conversation here, but he left it in my hands and gave me the power to choose while also encouraging me to stay on track and while also supporting and standing by the me that made the decision to do this. And that's what I need. So, you know, he's so amazing. I could sit here and gush about him the entire stream. I'm a very lucky woman. God has certainly blessed me. Oh, but this does not taste good. I'm gonna need to get creative with these shakes. Like I feel like I need to get some some protein, powdered peanut butter, because then I can really add more protein for one and some healthy fats. Oh, that's so sweet, Brooke. Yeah, never settle for less. Princess treatment all the way. Oh, That was a thing. I need to go get my. No. I sneezed. I sneezed and I felt it down my spine. So there's a torn muscle in my lower back, a little bit above my tailbone and a little to the left. Tore it when I was like 13 and it never healed properly. I am. I'm seeing stars. Oh. Now they say that a human can sneeze with enough force to break their back. It seems like an exaggeration until you're hurting. Yeah, I'll be all right. It's gonna be intermission. It technically is intermission time for this. So I'm gonna pause real quick. I'll be right back. The bean's waking up anyways. Good morning, little man. Hi, Pumpkin. Hello, my love. How'd you sleep?
Yeah.
Good. You wanna go potty and then come snuggle?
Just wanna play a game.
Let's hold off on the TV for just a minute, okay? You literally just rolled out of bed. Chat saying good morning. Nope, he's hiding his face and running away. Oh, I will say that this is definitely motivated. Seeing a 5 pound drop in just 24 hours was a huge deal for me. And I know that I can do that with the low carb. Hey, don't play with the light. On or off? Pick one. Thank you. When I did keto while I was pregnant with him, I was losing an average of 1.5 pounds a day, even pregnant. And that was under supervision of a doctor. Let me preface all of this story with that. I told my doctor what I was eating, that I wasn't intentionally restricting on days that I really was struggling or I felt sick. I would eat a potato or a small thing of noodles or something like that. Like I would get my carbs up, but I was leaning more towards my fibrous veggies to get my carbs up. Oh. So with that whole ordeal, it was really easy for me. One, by the time dinner came around, I wasn't hungry. Like I was eating breakfast so I could take my prenatal vitamins for my pregnancy. So I forced myself to eat breakfast, even though I don't usually like breakfast. I'd rather do something like this for breakfast. And then for lunch, I was having like leftovers from the night before. So we did a lot with enchiladas and a lot with veggie based lasagna and a lot with soups and salads. And we had a huge garden that my ex's mom and I ran together. A lot of fresh canned fruits and things like that. So it was like I had a lot of really high quality foods and low carb. So, between all of that and my activity out in the garden, so I was getting a lot of sunlight, I was getting a lot of physical outlet. I was dropping 1.5 to 2 pounds a day. And over the course of like 6, 7 months, something like that, I dropped roughly 80 pounds. So, oh, yes, so good. I'm partial myself to a chaffle. I don't know if you're familiar with chaffle, but it is so good. And sausage patty with an egg. I love sausage patties. They're so easy to cook. Like, you can pan fry them if you want that crispy outside. But if you don't have time or you're feeling lazy, you can just pop them in the microwave. And I ate so many sausage patties because it was just so easy. Oh, chaffle. Truffle is good too. Chaffle is Chaffle. And it's a low carb waffle, usually just made with like egg and cheese and maybe some almond flour to hold it all together. Um, I'll do a cooking video about it one of these days. So there's like so many different kinds. In fact, I made an Oreo chaffle on a live stream couple weeks ago because I really wanted something sweet and that was a low carb sweet that I could have. I'm a chocolate fiend. If you can get chocolate into it, you can probably get it into my body. With exceptions. I won't eat chocolate covered bugs and I won't eat chocolate covered bacon. Just about anything else you can put chocolate on and I'd probably consume it. So now all I'm thinking is Magic Max, the Princess Bride, and his wife. Chocolate coating makes it go down easier. Mm. Sorry, that is incredibly rude. Okay, I'm gonna check in with the family. I will be right back.
Okay, we are back.
You said you was going to come in. You said you was going to.
I said I would cut you up an apple when I was done working. I got about half an hour.
Okay.
You seem to be a pretty consistent person, Brooke.
It was at milkshake with just my apples.
Yes, I will make you a shake with your apple slices. He's going through a no meat phase, so we're looking for alternatives. Thankfully, I have enough protein shake to share. So,
And you can chop that apple up.
and then apple slices. He's dead set on his apple being cut up.
Looks like chicken.
Come here. Hi. Come on up. Attaboy. My little snugglebug. I gotta fix your hair. Trim your bangs.
What?
Little swoop. He wanted to keep his bangs, so he's got this little mohawk thing going on. But I had one side that I didn't get close enough to the center. And so he's got this little swoop that curls. It's very cute. And his bangs are getting too long, so I gotta trim those separately. So, yeah. Are we gonna have a good day today, buddy?
I really want to drive a car one day.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
I
sure
said.
you do. What is on your ear? Hold on, sit up again. Other ear. Let me see the other side. No, other side. Goofy boy. Huh, okay. It's kind of fuzzy. Are you excited to start school on Monday?
Yeah.
We're gonna start doing school here at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I set Uncle Rob up with some ideas for you guys. I still have to do study with him today, and we'll start setting our plan for next week. That's the thing, is I told my husband I'm gonna review the study material for our Bible study for that week, and we're gonna set up our lesson plan kind of around a Bible study, whether that's from our Bible study or the kids' Bible study, but we need to definitely dive into them. The kids got study Bibles for Christmas, and the intent was just having them as a backup. You know, hey, when you want something to read and we don't know what else to read, here's what we'll read. Now, I feel like we could really dive into these stories and use them as part of our curriculum. So, you know, doing our Bible study and kind of like, you know, Princess's devotional has plays that you can put on, and it has story time and stuff like that, like and little quizzes and things like that. And then Beans has like obstacle course or shooting range or exercises and stuff like that. And so it's like trying to incorporate all of that and give us a structure that's biblically based, so we can kind of use God as our foundation for homeschooling. And that's really what I want to do, is make God the center of our house. So, that being said, we're only going to commit to about another 20 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to shut down because I know Mr. Barry wanted to do some study together today for our Wednesday night Bible study. We weren't able to make it this week because the snow was bad enough. He was worried about the crutches. on a slick surface. It's really going to be hit or miss getting him out of the house for the rest of the winter. Oh, there's just no way to stabilize against those sneezes. Oh, ouch. But it's funny, I noticed I blocked certain words, and all of a sudden, chat has significantly calmed down and the viewership has fallen excessively. So I really need to start coming up with some more material for the vlogs and the shorts.
Go ice sledding.
You want to go ice sledding?
Yeah.
That sounds dangerous.
No, I meant ice sledding on ice.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
I wouldn't fall down on an ice sled. I would go ice sledding at the pool on the ice of the pool.
You want to go sledding on the ice of the pool?
Yeah.
It is. It will be until probably about April.
But I need my winter stuff off.
Yeah, I need to get your winter stuff from Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't have all my winter stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And he doesn't let me bring them.
Well, he's going to.
Yeah.
We're going to have a chat about it. And I'm going to get all your stuff. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All your missing clothes. All your snow gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of need.
Hello. We're doing all right. We're just kind of having a little morning chat and planning the day and exploring life. So I'm excited to get them involved. Like, try and find curriculum that includes them both but doesn't hold either one back. Like, I don't want Princess to suffer because Bean is, just learning his alphabet while she's ready to read, And that's where I feel like we'll have independent study for things like that are kind of level dependent. But things like science and numbers and stuff like that, there's something in taking a nature walk or in getting into the kitchen or doing a load of laundry. You can turn all of these things into practical lessons. If you're doing laundry, okay, how many socks are we pulling out of the pile? Count with me, How many shirts did we fold? Well, what color is this shirt, And you could even turn it into a fractions lesson, Oh, we fold the shirt into fourths or the towels into thirds and things like that. And that's the kind of schooling that I want to do, is practical application schooling, and done in such a way that it allows them to say, hey, I want to learn how to do this thing, uh, incorporate sewing and paper mache would be a great lesson. We're a house of cosplayers, so that's certainly going to come into play. I've already talked to my husband about next November when we go to the Grand Rapids Comic Convention, taking a full week to go to the city. And there's a trampoline park there. There's museums. There's the gardens, which I actually would like to take them to this summer, if we get a vehicle. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And the zoo. I want to take you guys to the zoo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. God's got this. What now? What now? What now?
I actually hurt my arm.
I'm sorry. thrifting. I want to teach them the importance of a dollar, and you can do that through. And I talked to my husband about a job board and having a market day. And I need to talk to him again about that. I want to lock in on what our market day is and how we're posting jobs, because like we're also a very fantasy driven. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey, you're on my cord. You're on my cord. We're a very fantasy driven house, and so I'm thinking if we have like a guild area in the house where we can post a job board and like put sweep the bathroom or gather all the trash, and then give them like value, like, oh, you earn 2 gold coins for this, or you earn 5 gold coins for this, or whatever it may be. Setting that all up and then having a market day where they can bring their coins to market and buy little treats and favors and privileges and stuff like that, so they learn the value of earning for their time. You trade services and goods for funds so that you can buy goods and services. There's these little things where it's like, okay, I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had. It's something where I struggle to just do it by myself because it can be a lot of work. But if I had someone to do it with me, then it'd make it worth it. You know what I mean? So we just have some things that we need to sit down and make a plan on. I grew up in a home with someone who was very artistically talented, and I want to bring some of that magic into my own home finally. So it was on that note. I think we're going to end a little early. I know that things have been kind of low key. Like I said, I blocked a ton of like nasty words and foul language and things like that. And so it's like, now that people can't ask me for inappropriate things, all of a sudden no one has interest in being here. So I appreciate those of you that have been here. I appreciate those that want to dive into the word with me. I mean, we have really been focused on the comfort God brings this month. And I'm very excited to continue diving into that, and excited to dive into this journey of a home family unit. What does that look like for us? What is homeschooling going to turn into? That's a journey that's just, I'm excited to share that journey. So hope you guys will stick around. Lots to come. Maybe if I find the money, I will invest in a proper camera for blogging or for vlogging, and we'll see what that looks like. So thank you all for being here. Remember, I love you, but God loves you more. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.